Well, new tonight, legislators in Albany this month wrapped up a session that brought ride-sharing and mixed martial arts to New York State.
Those bills took years to pass, while others are left to die, even if they have support. News 4's Dave Graber spoke with lawmakers on both sides of the aisle about what goes on in Albany. Dave?
Well, Don, in 2012, the state Senate approved unanimously a law named after Alex Rice, an 18-year-old who was hit and killed by a drunk driver the year before. But every year since then, the bill has passed in the Senate only to be stalled out in the Assembly. Some local and state legislators say it's a perfect example of an out-of-touch, dysfunctional process that often leaves Western New York wondering what really goes on in Albany.
Over the years, the corrupt politicians have transformed the political way in New York State to their own liking.
Republican Assemblyman David DiPietro, a frequent and outspoken critic in the minority, says his colleagues in Albany are out of touch and inefficient, often proposing or debating or approving laws that have little to no real impact on voters. Take feral cats and their claws, for example.
We spent 3 hours last year or more debating the decline of feral cats. Now we're in a major economic crisis, and we wasted a whole day debating the decline of feral cats. It was a one-house bill, so after we debated it, it went in the garbage. It didn't go anywhere. There was no Senate sponsor, so it was a waste of time.
Then why even go through the process?
We debate it, and it makes it look like we're doing work, but in the end of the day, then it just goes in the garbage, and it's done for 2 more years. That's not the exception. That's the norm. That's every week we go to Albany, we deal with this.
That hasn't been my experience.
Assemblyman Sean Ryan, who spent 6 years in the People's House, disagrees. He points to a lengthy and bountiful list of accomplishments for Western New York, including both Buffalo Billion programs, as well as state money for the downtown medical campus and expansion at UB.
It takes a lot of hard work. You have to focus on what your priorities are and then to work those priorities throughout the legislative calendar. It doesn't happen just because you think it's a good idea. You really have to work your ideas.
There are frustrations in the Senate as well.
I would say probably the worst part about Albany is that oftentimes some of the most common sense pieces of legislation fail to even come to the floor for a vote.
While there were proposals to make black dirt the state soil or make sweet corn the state vegetable, more meaningful legislation like Tim Kennedy's bill to extend the age of abuse victims to charge their abusers are left to languish despite their support.
It's mind-boggling to think that there are so many pieces of legislation that could impact millions of lives across this state for generations to come and are yet to even get to the floor. To me, it's an absolute failure of the system, and it's a failure of leadership in Albany.
The pace of doing business at the Capitol does have an impact on what gets done at the local level as well, says Erie County Minority Leader Joe Larigo.
You need to elect people that care more about providing the services that government should provide than pushing their own personal agendas. I get that, we're also in the business of shaking hands and smiling in front of the camera, but that shouldn't be the #1 priority. Don't come back from Albany with, a feel-good resolution without addressing real issues.
Now, to be clear, 2 of those bills mentioned, the state vegetable and the state dirt, never made it out of the very early stages of a bill. And just like last year's and years past, it is expected that Alex's Law and the Child Victims Act will be back on the docket for the Senate next year. It's not yet known whether the outcome will be any different. Live in the studio tonight, Dave Graber, News 4 at 6.